Hi, welcome back to another episode of Stuck in the Middle.
Where we ain't young, but we ain't dead yet.
We are so happy to have you back. I'm Tracy.
And I'm Julie. And we're going to continue on with our summer crime series. We did one, everybody liked it, so we decided to do a summer crime series.
Yeah.
And see where it goes because Tracy and I both love to watch all these murder mysteries and all the documentaries on serial killers and all that fun stuff. And so that's what we want to talk about. So do you want to start or you want me to start?
I'll start. Gosh, there's just always so many. And I was telling Julie earlier, and I'm not getting into it today because I didn't finish it. I have to finish it. But I literally watched one yesterday on one of the networks. And it was the Barbie and Ken murders. And it was about this, very attractive young couple that lived in Canada, actually. But we're not getting into that because I actually took a nap and I didn't finish it because I'm old. But I ain't dead yet. But,
Right.
But obviously one of the main killer crime stories is the O.J. Simpson trial and all that. And of course he got off, which
totally
is
got
so
off.
unbelievable to me. But
Yep.
again, it was one of those crimes that I can tell you exactly where I was the night of the big chase in the Bronco.
Yes.
I know it had to have been on, I want to say it was a Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. And I was either at a rehearsal dinner. As a matter of fact, I know I was. I was at a rehearsal dinner for a friend of ours that got married that Saturday night, and we were all in the bar at the Clewiston and watching this
Glued to
unfold
the TV. Yeah.
about it. But I think the thing that really just stuck with me was, again, a young couple, Hollywood couple, famous athlete. She was beautiful. They had these two kids that, they seem to be your all-American family. It just kind of goes to show you how you can't judge a book by its cover.
Never.
And then the more the story unfolded, just all of the actual evidence to me
It was all
that
the
came
evidence.
into play.
Yes.
And then with the whole Johnny Cochran, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit type thing. And just seeing the legal system play out and how, in my humble opinion, this is my opinion, someone can be guilty. Maybe he isn't. I don't know. But, and have the right attorney team and the right attorneys, and you can pretty much get away with murder.
Yeah.
And then even just the whole family dynamic of her family afterwards and his family and how they never gave up on trying to find justice for him.
It was.
And I mean, just to think that, he literally wasn't like on his way home from work or something that night that it happened.
She had been at the restaurant and had left her sunglasses or something.
And he was bringing them by her place.
And he was just dropping them off on the way back. And then, when he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And for me, just as much as you talk about the car chase and all, and I do remember that watching it intently. It also, as equally as important as that moment in time with that case, all I can think about, and it's not all that this trial was about, was that boy's family and just the emotions and how they would cry and just hold each other and just the hurt and pain. That's what gets me the most about that.
And the children. The children. I mean, basically, that's what I think really bothered me is they were left pretty much, without parents, you could say, because of everything that went on, even with their dad. And then, of course, they lost their mom. They were at very pivotal pivotal ages.
Mm-hmm.
Just to think that their whole world had been ripped out from underneath them, and hearing the 911 phone calls that she had made in the past.
Yeah,
About
she had
him.
been abused. She had been abused,
and it's just so sad. So I think that and just, you know, seeing the videos of the beautiful homes and just the lifestyle and everything, it was shocking to me, you know. So that would definitely be one. You know, the Cato Kalins that came out of it. I look at all of the people that were involved. Marsha Clark,
huge.
The other attorney that I feel so bad, he was the prosecutor, Darnell. Whatever. And I mean, it basically like scarred him to where it was just terrible. And then of course you've got to think of the Kardashian, Robert Kardashian that was involved, F. Lee Bailey, all of the attorneys, and just how much it even put them more on the map as far as the star power goes. I can't imagine what the legal bills were for that. But pretty much anybody involved with that case. Well, Faye Resnick, who still is like on television because she was the friend, and there was just so many things that came out of that case. And to think that now, you know, is OJ out of jail right now?
He is out. What got him behind jail was behind bars.
Was that Las Vegas thing with pulling a gun on the guy in the hotel room over some artwork or something?
Well, over, I think, some of his memorabilia stuff or something.
I wonder where he lives now.
I don't know. Don't care.
Because he was in Florida between getting off with her, and I want to say he had even gotten remarried or was dating a girl, and they were pretty wild partiers, I think. I don't know. Nonetheless,
she knows what she's getting into there.
But I don't know where he is now. I haven't heard. I'd have to research it. But that was definitely, obviously, a major crime story
that we still talk about. And so when we talk about these in our summer crime series, it's really about ones that we still all talk about. I don't care.
And how many years ago was that? That had to have been, gosh, I'm going to guesstimate around 1991.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
92.
not good with that.
So I know I got married in 89, and it was a couple of years after I got married. So it was somewhere around that time frame. So how many years ago was that? 35 years ago? Probably. God, and it seems like just yesterday.
It does seem like just yesterday.
Wow.
I mean, those kids now are grown adults.
Yes.
You know?
I wonder how they're doing now.
I don't know. You know, I'd love to know that. And I'm
going to have to research that.
Like if they ever write a book or talk about how their process of all of that
Yes.
was,
I wonder what their opinions are. Of course, it's their dad. I mean, you know, I don't know. It'd be very hard to even go against. I mean, your dad's your dad no matter what, I guess.
Well, like I watch a lot of these Dateline specials and all, you know, and a lot of times children do stick by their parents, even though they're the ones that have committed the crimes. They don't necessarily believe that. The kids don't, but not only they don't want to lose both parents. That's all they know. You know, if they lose one, they don't want to lose the other, and it's it divides families for sure.
Oh, and it did theirs, but yes, absolutely, yes,
with families, and understandably so.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just and every time I think about the whole O.J. Simpson thing, it makes my blood boil. Actually, I do remember because I remember whenever they read his verdict of not guilty. I was working in the school system, and I remember they had the TV on in the library. That's back when they had the TVs on those rolling things.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all waiting for the verdict, and it just people were having watch parties, or like everybody was at a bar, and I mean people were literally waiting on the verdict, and then you had certain people that were just cheering because he got off, and then certain people that were bawling because he got off.
I mean, it was crazy to think that there were so
Mm-hmm.
many people that even wanted him to get off as well.
Yeah, in my opinion, he was guilty.
You
That's
know.
just my opinion, and it is what it is, my opinion. But he got away with murder.
Well, or they've never found the real murderer. You know, in a situation like that, let's just say he didn't do it. I mean, I agree. I think that that's the point. But I could not imagine if I were him, I'd be doing anything and everything in my power to find I'd be putting every resource I had to digging every ounce of dirt out of that flower bed or whatever to clear my name.
Me too.
When it came to my kids.
But
You know what I mean? So that's my main story for today that was on my mind.
we're
How
going to
about
go
you?
back and forth with the couple. You know, I'm always the sinister of the both of us for some reason.
You know, I always
don't
just
know.
try my best to think if I were that person. I always do anything I can to give people the utmost of the benefit of a doubt. Like, it's very hard for me to make judgments about things that I did not personally see. And that is just me. I can't help it. Because God forbid we don't ever really what we think by evidence. And I agree with you. I'm agreeing. But I never want to say 110% because I didn't see it. I know that sounds crazy.
That's her. That's her for sure. Me, on the other hand, I'm just going to call a spade and say his ass was guilty. Done.
But
Done.
you would feel bad
Well,
if one
whatever.
day somebody came up and said, you know, it really was me and here's the proof.
Well, then I'd say, OJ, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying he did it. Whatever. Okay.
I know.
I know.
But go ahead.
But I'm just, you know, a little bit meaner than
No,
you.
you're not.
I'm
You're just more of a realist, probably.
Yes, I probably
I
definitely.
just know I wouldn't want anybody saying things about me if they didn't 125% know. That's all. But go ahead. What's your story, girl?
Okay, well, you know, I have my nose.
She's studying and doing
I
all
have
that.
my nose.
That's why her talking is much better than mine.
Oh,
she
it's-
prepares for these things.
Yeah,
I don't.
See, I could be a lawyer.
Obviously, y'all can tell I don't.
I could prepare my case here, right?
Go ahead. Yeah, but you
Okay.
be my attorney if I need one.
Okay, I will. Damn sure will. I need a retainer right now, man.
You do.
I need a big fat retainer. And then I'm going somewhere overseas. Okay, mine is on Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ew. Ew. Ugh.
I know. Grosses me out.
I couldn't even. I literally watched the first, I think, 3 to 5 minutes of the show that was just on, and when it came to the part where he was in his living room with the first victim or whatever, I literally turned it off and never turned it back on again because it grossed me out so flipping bad.
Well,
Disgusting.
It gave me anxiety.
Well, I don't know how you did. You watch it?
I did.
Oh,
I
there's
watched
no
it.
way.
Well, okay. I told my
Nope.
husband, I said, look, I'm going to do a little research. This is for the podcast. So I want to do Jeffrey Dahmer.
No way.
And so David pulled it up, and so we watched something. I don't know if it was on Netflix or what, because there are quite a few out there, but this was like a documentary on him. And
This was the movie I'm talking about, I think.
no, this I couldn't watch the movie.
That's what I'm talking about. It was a movie and it was disgusting. I didn't make it past the first 3 to 5 minutes, but go ahead.
Okay, so go ahead. So, anyways, as David's pulling it up and it's just starting, and I said to him, I go, "Oh, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know, David. I think it's going to give me major anxiety." But I did. I put my big girl panties on that I wear every day. And so, and there's that. And so, anyway, we started watching it. And, you know, what's crazy to me is that everybody starts out, you know, like this kid, he was just this average kid. He was an introvert. He was very quiet, but his whole family, his father was, I think, very intelligent, and, you know, he was from just this middle America family, which is the scariest part of it all, really. And so he never really quite fit in school. And this was back in the day when, I mean, he liked boys. And so it wasn't talked about as much, or people weren't as openly gay, or there was a gay scene at that time, but just to come out to his
What
family
time frame
and stuff.
was this? Do you remember?
Well, whenever I did my research, let me see here. He started killing in 1978 through 1991. So there was a gay scene, and it was back, I believe he was from Milwaukee or somewhere of that nature. And so he is listed as a serial killer. He killed 17 people. 17. And so it all started whenever basically his family, they lost their house and they left the house abandoned, and he was young and they just abandoned him, or he went off on his own, because he started off with killing animals and doing that, dismembering them, which is the first red flag, by the way, of these serial killers.
Did you ever know anybody growing up that hurt animals in your neighborhood?
No, because I'd be mean to them.
Well, I'm telling you, I think we had one when I was growing up in my
Seriously?
neighborhood that like harmed animals and stuff. I feel like I didn't see it again.
That is not
but,
120%.
but people used to talk about him, and I think he would do things like
so
that.
my question.
I don't know where they are. They moved away. It could be him. I don't know.
Well, why don't we research that offline, because we have to be 120% sure.
But I'm just telling you, yes, I've always heard that too.
No, it's true. If they do harm,
like trying to flush a cat down the toilet or something.
Jesus.
Something like that.
Well,
or lighting their tail on fire or something. I'm just telling you, they did something weird. I'll have to ask my brother, because he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. And it wasn't my brother, thank God.
Well, you did get the fire department.
Yeah, he did light people's yards on fire. Not their animals that we know of. Go ahead.
So anyway, sidebar. That was a total sidebar. Anyway, so Jeffrey Dahmer. So his first victim, he lured them out to the house. Back then people would hitchhike and all that stupid nonsense.
Can you imagine that in today's world? Crazy.
God, no. It makes me sick to my stomach. Anyway, he got in the car with them, asked them to come back to his house. They'd have a few beers, hang out, whatever. And he beat him to death with like a dunbar, like with weights and stuff. And he beat him to death, and then he dismembered him and buried him all out in the woods. Because not only, and I'll get into this about him eating the human flesh, not only did he do that, I mean, he would totally dismember them, of course. And the things that are
how does he eat does he put it on a piece of like bread, like and make sandwiches out of it? How do you do that? Would he fry it up like Spam?
Some of it, yeah.
No, he would not.
Yeah, he did. He would fry it on the stove. And like when he ended up like in years later, and he moved into this like housing project. And they did interview and it was predominantly black folks that lived in this housing project, but they all looked out after each other, and they all, really.
It was a sense of community.
Yeah, it was a sense of community. And so this man and his wife lived right there, and they said that the odors that would come out of the house were just horrific. They'd roll up a towel and put it underneath.
And that's disgusting. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but
and
that's gross.
It's gross, and he was saying,
God.
He would say to his wife, well, maybe he's not a good housekeeper, or whatever. And it was just, I can't even imagine rotted flesh or what.
No disrespect. That's awful.
What do you mean?
I laugh when I get nervous. And that's
Did you just say rotisserie?
No.
What?
No.
He did have a rotisserie, not that I'm aware of. But
oh my God, God, that's gross. I'm sorry. I laugh when I get nervous is what I just said. I didn't say rotisserie.
I thought you said rotisserie.
No, all I can picture is a frying pan with Spam.
Well, he did, and he would
Oh my gosh.
boil body parts. And then he would take and preserve different ones, but like in collective jars.
Why? What?
Because he's a sicko. That's why.
What is the point? Like he would put like a hand in it.
Okay.
See, I'm telling y'all, I did not finish watching the movie.
Okay. Well,
I only watched 2 minutes. I couldn't stand it.
Okay. So I gotta get it back. So
Lord.
anyway, his thing was so where he didn't always just go ahead and eat parts of human flesh. I can't even.
I just really can't. I laugh when I get nervous. I laugh at funerals, people. I swear I'm sorry. It makes me a nervous wreck. My palms are sweating. Oh, God, go ahead.
I didn't know if this was going to have this effect on her. But anyway, so it was all males, that he would lure in. He would rape them. He would kill them. Some people he would kill first and then rape them. And it was all about having control over that person. And so I wondered, and this is what they explained, the reason why that he would take and that he would eat body parts or whatever is so his victims would never...
What? I'm waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Never leave him, and that he always kept like a part of them with him. Because even though in his sick mind, oh my God.
It's like me wearing this necklace so I have a part of my mom with me. But, oh my God. I mean, like, just buy a necklace. Just get a piece of their jewelry and wear it.
I understand, but this is what set him apart from other people. And there were other people, what I did not realize, I thought he was really the only one of his kind, or at that point in time that did that.
Hannibal Lecter.
Well, yes, that came, I think, maybe after that, maybe before. But there are people around the world. There was a Russian couple. There's not many people, but there was a husband and wife that did that.
Together?
Yes.
They just like have like a Friday night dinner?
Yep.
And eat it.
And he would take and I'll never forget this because I do remember this in the
I don't know why I'm going to laugh, just you and your notes, but it just, oh, good God Almighty.
I can't.
What? What next did he do, Julie? What did he do next?
I can't. So anyway, he, like I said, he would go into the gay scene, into like gay bars, but they also have a sense of community too.
Of course.
Where they would look after one another. But those would be some of his victims that he got away with because people weren't out looking for them. They didn't necessarily have families that knew where they were. These were people that lived on the streets.
Or that had moved away from their normal home to a new city. Where did this guy live, Milwaukee? Where did he commit most of the murders? Was it in Milwaukee or was it out like California back? Because back in those days, that was probably a big hot spot for the gay community.
Yeah, I know it was, I think, still...
Or New York or a big city.
It's still kind of close by where he lived. And,
okay.
Which I'll have to go back on that. Didn't make a note about it. But anyway, so a lot of his murders, it wasn't detected for a long time because it wasn't people that it was anybody care about and look after them if they came up missing. Now, in the people that owned the bars and all in those neighborhoods, they would ask about each other and they'd go to the police and the police just blew it off. Like
a runaway or like a traveling nomad kind of person.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And it was just, and then he did this. And so what is horrible was there were actually two brothers, and this is the part I'll always remember. One brother got away and ran away from him, right? And it was, like I said, in a community where they lived, it was probably a rough area. And he got away and he told, but it's like nobody believed this boy that what was going on, and told it because the police would come and knock on his door. He did get put in jail a couple of times for different crimes, and they had him on the radar, but he was very good at the way he spoke to the police. He made it believable. The things he told them where they just pushed it away. He was on the radar.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple, actually. One, the brothers, did he try to murder both of them together or separate?
Occasions. Separate occasions.
So obviously the first brother probably got murdered and never showed back up at home.
The first brother got away from him.
Did he say to the brother?
These were smaller boys at this time, but then this was the one thing I remembered seeing on TV was when the second boy, he had drugged him, he had told him to come, I'll take pictures of you, they're going to be nude pictures and all this stuff, and tried to lure him in, and they did. The second brother, that boy, he took and drilled with a drill into his brain. It did not kill him. He got out and away from him, went out in the streets naked, screaming for help. These women saw him, stopped them. They got the police there, and Jeffrey went down there and said, talked his way out of it or whatever, and the police brought that boy back to him, and he
identified him.
Yeah, and the police left him back with Jeffrey. He talked his way out of this, and he laughed and joked and said before the police pulled out of the driveway, that boy was dead. And that mother, when they went back in the court, and she had to get up there and speak to them, it was horrible. And he was just...
So he murdered both of those boys?
He murdered one, and the other one made it through, but the last one did not. And then when he finally got convicted and he went to prison, like I said, he committed 17 deaths. And then it was all for sexual nature, and him eating the body parts was a whole sexual turn on to him. He hid their skulls. He had a collection of skulls and body parts in a filing cabinet in his little efficiency apartment.
Oh, well, that's disgusting.
And he was so sick and disgusting, and he looked just like an everyday person.
Well, he didn't
crazy.
in the movie. I saw he looked like a weirdo with those big old glasses. And,
he is a weirdo. I mean, he was.
Disgusting.
And so, ironically, he died in prison, and they said it was just ironic that he was murdered the way he did. He committed his first murder. The other inmate beat him to death with like a dumbbell or whatever.
You know what? They needed to go ahead and serve him up for Friday night dinner at the canteen in the prison. They need to go ahead and just give out,
I can't even imagine.
Cut his little bedonky donk off and serve that up as a Friday night hot dog dinner.
And that's what he did. He cut all their penises off and he would boil them. And then he would sit down.
Good God Almighty.
He would, I guess, season them up. I don't know.
You can't bite that.
Well, he cut it with a fork and knife, that's all I'm saying, and ate it. That's what I'm telling you. So.
Beans and Franks.
Beans and Franks.
I guess.
So, okay, so
that
is
my first
one was about
So
him.
it was all boys and men?
It was all boys and men. Yeah.
All I know is on the show that I did watch for 2 or 3 minutes, I heard from people that told me they watched it that whoever it was that was in the apartment, it was a young African American guy that had come over. He had lured him over and gave him a beer. All I know is that whoever that one was is the one that technically did get away. That was the beginning of the show. I don't know how it went after that, but it started at the end where that is the one that got him caught.
And then,
that wasn't one of the brothers, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But that is true with that particular one, and it is how he got caught. But he didn't even deny it. He was just so sick and aloof about it all that, and that's still a case to this day that is disturbing and horrible.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I don't even know where to go from there. I mean, I don't know about the whole true. I guess the biggest thing with all of the crime, the true crime or the crime series, that freaks me out the most is that you see people, they can look so all-American, like your average person next door. And just to think that there's a double life. For example, right now, and again, we don't know the outcome of this, but that man right now up north that was like, it's on the news every day right now, he murdered so many different people. He was, I think it's up in like New York or the Gilmore. It's on the news right now. Like his wife literally didn't speak on the Today Show, but she had a comment. Of course, she divorced him 5 days ago.
Yeah.
But he was like, was he an architect or?
Well, yeah. They're killers that walk amongst us.
Or that live amongst us. Like he came home every night and went to bed. I mean, and like, it's like, okay, you just murdered 3 people tonight. Well, first of all, I guess my next question would be, where do these people think that their family members or spouses or boyfriends or girlfriends are when they're out doing all of this crazy, wacky stuff?
And like, I just often wonder, do you not pick up on that? Do you not see it in their eyes?
I don't know.
Not, like, are they just have scratches and claw marks? Like, what? I don't know that either. Like I said, I'm a big fraidy cat. I'm scared of everything. So for me to watch that was major for me. But I had to just kind of look at it as, nope, I'm doing it to talk about because it's still talked about.
And I guess it's even one thing, not that you can wrap your head around murdering anyone, period, in the story. But for something to happen and it's a one-time thing, like, oh my God, I killed my husband because, he got on my nerves. I'm just kidding. But to know that it's like truly like you're out searching and like you get some type of a pleasure out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And
of
do
the
it
hunt. It's like a
and
hunt.
doing it over and over again.
They're never satisfied or fulfilled, especially if you are a serial killer. When you kill again and again and again, there is this high, like with him. Raping wasn't enough. Then you rape and kill, that wasn't enough. And then you want them to always be with you and never leave you because everybody leaves you. So you rape, kill them, rape them again, then cook and eat them. I mean, like,
so what is the end game for these people? Is it sexual?
Oh, definitely.
Is it always sexual?
I think
I mean, I just wonder.
Like, if I had to, like, make just a guess, I'd say absolutely. I think people are sick and twisted.
Well, I mean, that's obviously goes without saying.
This was, yes, and we'll talk about it again on our next summer crime series because we're going to talk about a different case, but
I don't think we could get any worse than the Dahmer one. I mean, I really don't. Now, is Hannibal Lecter, is that a real man or is that just a movie?
I don't know. Now, see, I could never watch that because
I mean, I'm sorry, but Clarice, I really liked Hannibal Lecter as a person. I thought he was kind of neat.
He was I hated when
But-
they put that mask on
But
and
he
made
was,
that noise.
but there was something about him that I know that sounds weird. I'm just saying. I mean,
Now
I don't
this
know.
is the one that just laughed
Well-
out of nervousness that there's.
But I think he was just a fiction or a movie character. I don't believe that was based on a real story.
No,
Other than maybe this crazy guy, but he wasn't even twisted. I don't know. It was different.
it was different. But I don't know, for some reason I think that one was real, but I could be wrong. We're going to Google it and stay tuned. And
Can I say this just to end it on a lighter note? Because now I'm telling you, I'm all wigged out. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Thank God we just had our lunch. Because, I mean, I could vomit right this second.
well, my
could go
feet are
vomit.
sweating. You know, like when I get nervous. I do laugh when I get
Oh my God, I'm
nervous, too.
sorry, y'all. I did not mean any disrespect
But-
to those victims.
Well, of course not.
I really didn't, but I can't help it. I do. I laugh very inappropriately. I mean, I just do. It's a weird, nervous thing.
I've gotten a traffic ticket twice before, and I laughed both times at the police officer.
I'm sure that went
because
over really well.
I know I was pregnant both times. I could not drive when I was pregnant. I don't know. And I just died laughing because I was nervous.
Yeah, well, you do that too
I
sometimes.
do.
But I do want to end on a note of last week we gave our health and beauty tips.
Yes.
And I said, because me being me, not being prepared, I didn't have the names of my products. Well, my bath scrub and my bath body wash is made by Theory, by the way. And it's in like a sea green tube. And it's called Theory. It's by Theory.
And by the way, after that episode, after we taped that, I went to her bathroom and I had
showed
to
it to
try.
you.
I had
Yeah.
to wash my hands.
And
with
it's
it.
good.
It smells great. Which we are going to do another podcast. Stay tuned. Where I do want us to bring all of our products and we'll line them up and we'll talk about them and what works for us and maybe it'll work for you.
For real. Or for real products.
Or for real. For real.
Not our
No,
psych
really.
products.
No, really. Or for real
Products.
products.
All right. Well, listen, we enjoy. You know what? I am not even going to lie today. I can't say that we enjoyed today. I can't say I did. She may have enjoyed every minute of it.
I enjoyed this one.
But it was real today, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's part of our crime stories. I wanted to kind of really stretch it today.
Yeah, you stretched it. We fried it.
Cut
we
it.
grilled it. We cut it. And we chewed on it. Beans and franks. Anyway, well, until next week, thank you guys for listening and sharing and caring. And we will see you next Monday.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Have a great
everybody.
week. Any topics, you guys, please don't forget, we need topics. We love topics. We want to hear what you want us to talk about. So, by all means, would you share some topics? Because I don't know if I want to do another Jeffrey Dahmer episode.
Well, we are doing more crime series.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I've been studying.
She thinks she is she tells us we're both the CEO. I think she thinks she's the CEO and I'm just the...
No,
What am I?
You're the CEO too. We're 50.
The CEO 1, 2. 2 is right. You got that right. She's my boss.
TOO.
All right, we got to go. Bye. Have a good week.
Bye.